Hey there, it's so good to be with you today. If you've ever found yourself wondering, is he just having fun or is he actually falling for me? You're not alone. We've all been there, trying to read between the lines, decode texts, and overanalyze every little thing he says or does. But here's the truth. When a man starts falling in love with you, he reveals it in ways that most people miss. Not through grand gestures or dramatic proclamations, but through questions. Yes, questions. Because when a man's heart begins to open, his curiosity deepens, he starts wanting to know more, not just about your favorite movie or what you like on your pizza, but about you, the real you. And today I'm going to share the 5 questions a man asks when he's not just attracted to you, he's actually falling in love. If he's asking you these, trust me, you got more than just his attention, you got his heart. When a man asks you, what's your biggest dream? It may seem like a casual question on the surface, but it reveals something much deeper. This isn't just about small talk or trying to sound thoughtful. It's a window into how he sees you and how seriously he's starting to take your connection. Because when a man is falling in love, he begins to crave more than attraction, more than laughter, more than surface level compatibility. He wants to understand your essence, what fools you, what excites you, and what future you're working toward when no one else is watching. This question is a powerful indicator that he sees you as more than someone he enjoys spending time with. He sees you as someone whose life and vision matter, and more importantly, he wants to be emotionally involved in that vision. When a man is falling for you, your dreams become something sacred to him, something he wants to witness, support, and possibly even be a part of. Think about how different that is from someone who's just casually dating. Someone who's only in it for the moment isn't thinking long term. They're not looking at the depth of your ambition or your calling. But a man who's emotionally invested begins to ask questions that touch your soul. He wants to know where your heart wants to go because he's slowly realizing that wherever you're headed, he wants to walk with you. There's also something incredibly vulnerable about sharing your dreams because they're not always polished. They're not always logical or realistic. They come from a deep place. They're shaped by your passions, your pain, your purpose. And when a man creates the space for that kind of conversation, it means he wants to know the real you, the version of you that exists beyond the roles you play, beyond the walls you've built, beyond what you show to the rest of the world. And it doesn't stop there. When he asks about your biggest dream, it also gives him insight into how your life might align with his, consciously or not. He's imagining the long term. He's picturing whether your values, your desires, and your trajectory fit into the story he wants to build. It's his way of saying, I'm starting to care about what you want from life because I can see myself being part of that life. So the next time a man asks you this question, pay attention. It's not just a sign that he's interested. It's a sign that he's invested. And more than that, it's an invitation to let him in, an invitation to be seen for more than just your beauty or charm, but for your mission, your soul, and your why. And in a world full of distractions and surface level connections, that kind of depth is rare. That kind of curiosity, that's what love begins to look like. When a man asks you, how can I help you with that? It's one of the clearest signs that he's stepping beyond interest and into emotional investment. That simple question carries weight. It's not just about being polite or supportive. It's about choosing to show up for you. See, when a guy is just casually dating, he's often focused on how you make him feel. He enjoys your company. He loves the connection, but his thoughts are mostly centered around his experience. But when a man is starting to fall for you, something shifts. He begins to turn outward. He becomes less concerned with what he's getting and more focused on what he can give. Asking how he can help you isn't just about offering assistance. It's about wanting to add value to your life. That could mean something small, like reviewing your resume, or something deeply personal, like showing up to support you at an important event. The point is, he sees your goals as important. And not only that, He wants to play a role in helping you achieve them. That desire doesn't come from obligation, it comes from admiration. He's starting to respect your drive. He's emotionally connecting with your purpose, and he's realizing that your success, your fulfillment, your happiness actually matter to him. That's powerful, because real love doesn't just admire from a distance, it wants to contribute. When he asks how he can help, what he's really saying is, I see the incredible woman you are, and I want to be part of what you're building. He's not trying to compete with your dreams or shrink them or distract you from them. He's trying to support them, nurture them, and elevate them. And that's when you know this isn't just about romance anymore, it's about partnership. Let's be honest, in the early stages of dating, it's easy for people to show interest. Compliments flow freely, dates are fun, everything feels light. But love isn't measured by how good the chemistry is during a Friday night dinner. It's measured by how someone shows up in your real life, in your challenges, in your growth. And when a man asks how he can help, he's showing a willingness to step into your reality, not just the highlight reel. Of course, you're more than capable of chasing your dreams without anyone's help. You've probably done that for a long time, but love isn't about dependency, it's about interdependence. It's about two strong people who make each other even stronger. So when a man offers to help, it's not because he thinks you need saving. It's because he wants to be someone you can lean on by choice, not necessity. So don't overlook that question. How can I help you with that? Might seem small, but it reveals something massive. It tells you he's starting to think about your life with as much care as he thinks about his own. And when a man starts investing in your dreams, that's when he's already halfway in love with you. When a man asks you, what was your childhood like? You need to stop and recognize the emotional depth behind that question, because that's not something you ask when you're just trying to flirt. That's not a throwaway line you drop to keep a conversation going. That is a doorway, a door into your past, into your heart, and into the very things that shaped the woman you are today. And when a man begins to care about your story, not just your smile, that's when you know something real is happening. This question shows that he's not just focused on who you are now. He's curious about how you became this way. He wants to understand your roots, the experiences that made you strong, the memories that left scars, the environment that shaped your beliefs, your boundaries, your emotional reflexes. Maybe you grew up with a loving family. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you were the caretaker at a young age, or the quiet observer, or the overachiever. Whatever your story is, when he asks about your childhood, he's not looking for neat answers. He's looking for understanding. He wants to know the little girl behind the woman standing in front of him. And that kind of curiosity, that kind of emotional presence, that's what love starts to look like. Because it's not just romantic to care about someone's past, it's intimate. It takes empathy, it takes patience, it means he's willing to hear things that might not be easy, it means he wants to connect with your vulnerability, not just your confidence. And that says a lot about where his heart is. When you open up about your childhood, you reveal your emotional blueprint. You show him what made you cautious or bold or independent. You give him clues about what you might need in a relationship, not because you're needy, but because you're human. And when a man listens to that with gentleness and without judgment, it tells you he's not looking to fix you, he's looking to understand you. That's a man who's not just interested in the idea of you, he wants to love the real you. There's also a kind of sacredness to this kind of question, because let's be honest, our childhoods are deeply personal. They're not first date topics. You don't just hand that part of your story to anyone. So when a man asks and you feel safe enough to answer, something beautiful begins to unfold. A bond begins to form, not based on fantasy, but on truth. And it's through that truth that real emotional connection is built. So don't underestimate the importance of this question. When he asks about your childhood, he's not just making conversation, he's leaning into your past so he can love you better in the present. He's saying, I don't want just the surface. I want you, your story, your strength, your softness. That's not just interest. That's the slow, powerful unfolding of love. When a man looks at you and asks, do you feel safe with me? That is not just a sweet question, a profound one. Because safety, emotional safety, psychological safety, even physical safety, is the foundation of true intimacy. Without it, all you have is chemistry floating on shaky ground. So when a man takes the time to check in with how you feel around him, not just how you feel about him, it means something is shifting. It means he's starting to fall, not just for your beauty or your personality, but for your experience. He's no longer just in this to enjoy the ride. He wants to be someone who adds peace to your life, not pressure. That question says, I care about your nervous system. I care about what it feels like when you're near me. And that's rare, because a lot of people focus on attraction, passion, or trying to impress. But a man who's falling in love, he begins to prioritize your comfort. Not in a performative way, but in a deeply genuine one. He starts to realize that if you can't relax around him, if you're always guarded, always uncertain, then it doesn't matter how good the chemistry is. He doesn't want to be another source of stress in your life. He wants to be a safe space in a world that can be chaotic and loud. What's powerful about this question is that it reflects his emotional maturity. It shows that he's self-aware enough to know that love is not just about what he's feeling. It's about what you're experiencing. He's not just asking if you trust him. He's asking if you feel free to be your full self when you're with him. Can you take your armor off? Can you speak your truth? Can you laugh from your belly without worrying you'll be judged? Can you be soft, silly, messy, imperfect, and still feel completely accepted? That's the kind of love that lasts. That's the kind of man who's not trying to control your emotions. He's trying to understand them. He wants to learn how to respond when you're anxious. He wants to be better at navigating your moods, your triggers, your rhythms. Because when a man truly cares, he doesn't see your emotional world as a burden. He sees it as a map that leads him closer to your heart. So if a man ever asks you, do you feel safe with me? Don't brush it off. That is a man putting your emotional experience at the center of the connection. That is a man beginning to see you as someone whose heart is worth protecting, not just pursuing. And when a man starts caring about the way you feel around him, not just the way you feel about him, that's not just love, that's emotional devotion. That's the man who doesn't just want to be close to your body, he wants to be trusted with your soul. When a man asks you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? This isn't just one of those cliche questions you'd hear in a job interview. It's not small talk. It's not a way to kill time over dinner. This is a powerful moment, a sign that he's starting to move from living in the now with you to wondering about the next. And when a man starts projecting you into his future, it's one of the clearest signals that his feelings are deepening into love. Why? Because this question reveals he's thinking long term. He's stepping out of the casual day-by-day energy of dating and into the mindset of vision. And not just his own vision, but yours. When he asks where you see yourself, he's really asking, could I see myself there with you? It's his way of testing alignment, values, goals, lifestyle, even timing. It tells you he's not only emotionally connected to you right now, but he's also beginning to ask, can this relationship grow? Can it evolve with both of us? Do our paths lead in the same direction? That question is not something a man asks when he's just having fun. When a guy's only in it for the short term, he's not worried about 5 years from now. He's barely thinking about next month. But when he starts envisioning your future, when he genuinely wants to know where your life is heading, it means he's emotionally invested. He's imagining more than dates and texts and late night talks. He's imagining a life. And in that life, he's wondering whether there's room for him, not just as someone you love, but as someone who fits your dreams, your growth, and your purpose. What's beautiful about this question is how it allows you to show up fully. It's an invitation to express your truth. You get to talk about your goals. Maybe you want to build a business, travel the world, start a family, write a book, move to a different city. Whatever your answer is, the man who's falling for you wants to hear it, because he wants to see if his life could complement yours. And he's not just looking for similarities, he's looking for synergy. It also shows emotional maturity. When a man is thinking 5 years ahead, he's not just playing. He's not looking for distractions. He's beginning to evaluate not just what feels good, but what works. And if he's starting to imagine what life could look like with you in it, whether it's waking up next to you, supporting each other's careers, traveling together, building a home, maybe even raising a family, those thoughts don't come from infatuation. They come from love in motion. And here's the thing. A man asking this question is also making himself vulnerable. He's exposing the fact that he cares, because in asking you where you see yourself in 5 years, he's silently asking another question. Would you want me to be there with you? That takes courage. It takes intention. And it shows that he values more than just where the relationship is. He's starting to dream about where it could go. So when a man looks at you and asks, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Don't underestimate it. That's not a random thought. That's a heart slowly aligning with yours. That's someone who's falling in love, not